This is not off to a good start with the creepy children laughing and singing cliche. Previously on a very special episode of Growing Pains. Thanks for the reminder, movie, but seriously, who needs this title card? Is someone seriously going to fire up the sequel, see these kids sitting around the exact place they were at the end of the previous movie, and be like, when the hell are we? I'm so lost.
Saw all of us, but we were older.
Luckily, there was this cool but creepy technology to de-age us, though, so we pretty much look the same.
Memory. It's a funny thing.
Narration over dairy. Daration? Also, memory sure is a funny thing in this movie, considering it plays fast and loose with the rules about what the kids do and don't remember. Mike remembers everything because something he's still in dairy. But none of the other adults in dairy remember anything because something the book totally explained this using space turtles and
But Meg Ryan called. She wants her wig back.
Man, that would be a sick burn if this guy knew who Meg Ryan was. Also, look, this is a tired joke regardless, but also, what the man, Meg Ryan? I don't think so. I'd maybe accept Jenna Elfman. Don and Adrian walk down Horror Movie Alley, where a bustling carnival nearby somehow translates into empty streets all around.
Take off that hat.
It just can't be a Stephen King story without some bullies. The primary characters from 27 years ago had bullies, so now these secondary characters have bullies, because where else would they go? Stephen King has a warehouse of bullies he needs to ship out now before his landlord sees them. Wait, the train horn is what makes you think you need to get out of here after what you just did? Wait, he gets beaten by homophobe jagoffs, thrown into a river, runs into Pennywise, and has asthma? Also, I thought Pennywise was all about luring kids down to his lair and killing kids. The actor who plays Adrian is 30, and even if he's playing a high schooler, he was talking to Don about maybe moving somewhere else like adults do. So why is Pennywise the least bit interested? When it comes to Pennywise, you can laugh off some of the things he does as just being evil, but here, he was just being a dick. The children just screamed, "We all float down here," and I think once Adrian joins their chorus, his voice will be so distinct it'll be like listening to Peter Brady in that Sunshine Day song. Who's this sign for? If the cops haven't discovered it, I'll assume it meant it for Mike, but he's already here. That's a terrible waste of phantom blood. Stephen King main character has an 85% chance of being a writer cliche.
They hated the ending.
You said you liked the ending.
That was a lie.
I know shooting a movie without an ending or even a script is a thing in Hollywood, but if Bill thought the ending of his book was perfect and no one told him otherwise, why is it taking him so long to even write the scene in the screenplay? Plus, they're telling him just now that they hate the ending and want a new one? I don't know what it is, but I feel like this argument between Bill and his wife Audra really has teeth.
When did you become a company man? Jesus, you were an artist.
Galactic skip!
Everything's gonna be fine.
Having driven around New York City, I can tell you that honking is commonplace and happens for stupid reasons. But for what reason is this honking happening? Was Eddie going too slow? He wasn't changing lanes and cutting this guy off, so this just seems like a way to add more anxiety to the phone call, and I'm not having it. Richie's not only a working stand-up, he's ridiculously successful. Look at the size of this auditorium, and it's packed. Bill's a top-notch screenwriter and novelist. Bev's a badass fashion designer. Ben's a titan of architecture, and Eddie and Stan are both rich as So point me to the part of the movie that explains how all these motherfuckers are rock stars in their chosen fields.
Trash mouth. Forgot the joke.
Wow, this audience turned on Richie immediately. Like, if you've ever been to a big-name stand-up show and someone like this forgets a joke, the audience tends to be forgiving and even laugh, expecting you to get it together for the rest of the show. It would require repeated misses for the audience to get to this point.
Stanley, you're speaking. It's Mike.
This guy. How many people has he called just saying it's Mike, like they're gonna remember that shit? For Eddie, he said Mike Hanlon right away. But for Bill and Stanley, he's like, guess which Mike, you dicks? Also, I feel like in a movie that's over 2.5 hours, all you had to do was show a cell phone ringing with the dairy phone number popping up, and it would have told us what we needed to know.
What if they don't come? I mean, we made a promise. Remember?
Sure, but that was 27 years ago, and when they were all tweens. Who expects everyone to actually keep their commitment? Hell, when I was 13, I promised my best friend I'd give him back the January edition of Hustler that he smuggled to me from his dad. And I'm looking at that right now on my bookshelf. Haven't been able to open it for years, but Stephanie Rage still looks spectacular on the cover. What the hell took Mike so long to call Bev? I know she was low on the list, but he called Eddie, Richie, and Bill mid-day, and he waited until after bedtime to catch her? It's not like she's abroad like Ben. She's in New York, where Eddie is too.
I just don't understand why you'd lie to me.
Oh, so Bev's husband is a worthless piece of abuser, and we're given like 2 minutes of screen time to flesh out this complicated, sensitive relationship. You know, for a movie that's nearly 3 hours, Chapter 2 is so goddamn rushed.
You're nothing without me, you know that, right?
Why did he stop running after her? Are abusive dickhead faces deterred from chasing after their wives because it's raining outside? One patient goes crazy, so all the patients go crazy in a movie psychiatric hospital cliche. You know how in Knocked Up, Seth Rogen's character only had one dance move, the one where he's pretending to shoot the dice? I feel like its only move is the rapid crawly thing. After you've seen it a few times, it doesn't even freak you out. Find another move, asshole.
Losers
Gotta stick together, right?
Losers group contains no Idris Elba, Zoe Saldana, or Chris Evans.
You two look amazing.
How the did Richie know that this was Bev and Ben hugging? And even if he knew Bev by the hair, there's no way he recognizes new Ben.
Sometimes she'll put her arm around me and she'll whisper to me, she'll go,
This is Bill Hader, everyone. Even though we know he's an amazing actor that can disappear into a role like in Barry or the Skeleton Twins, this is Bill Hader doing a bit. And even though I love Bill Hader's bits, it takes me all the way out of the movie. You know, I was psyched to see this movie cast with these actors, but you can tell they're really trying to manufacture the same chemistry as this amazing kids cast, and they just can't get there.
Hey, we saw your movie.
Bev knows Bill's work, so do they remember each other or not? And if so, how do they not remember anything about their friendship, of which beating an evil magic clown will be a pretty big part?
Something happens to you when you leave this town. Farther away, the hazier it all gets.
Yeah, but why? And what does it have to do with anything? Just think, if Mike could have left Derry, nobody would be here right now. And yes, Pennywise would continue doing his evil unchecked. But seems like a supernatural force would want to draw you to town, especially since Pennywise went through the trouble of writing a 3-pronged note on the bridge at the beginning of the movie asking everyone to come home. Luckily, Mike was there to see it. I'm really surprised nobody tried to raid the pile of other fortune cookies in the bowl while they tried to make sense of what was a 5-word sentence before Beverly laid down her Stanley paper. How did it find out about Stanley's death before the losers did? Does he have a subscription to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution and regularly scans the obits?
It's not real!
Really? What tipped you off, the baby locust or the flappy wing cookie? And if it's not real, what the hell is Mike assaulting with the chair?
Well, you, all right? Grace, be careful. You! I'm not afraid of you!
Jesus, these parents were not appalled whatsoever about Richie yelling at this kid. They seemed disturbed, like, what's wrong with that guy, but nothing more.
I got a plan, getting the out of Dodge before this ends worse than one of Bill's books.
Okay, they were already super horny to fulfill their oath. And by now, they've remembered that they beat Pennywise before. But now they're gonna get the out of Dodge? Dude, the pitcher threw a wild pitch and it went all the way to the backstop. The are you yelling about the batter's swing for?
Victoria, we came to watch the game. We're going to watch the game.
What stake does this mom have in the baseball game? Does she have a son playing in the game? Did she bet the rent money on it? It really just feels like you want to just show yet another terrible dairy parent and set up this under the bleachers Pennywise scare without earning it. Look, I don't want this little girl to die, but the movie really seems to think that we should care about this one little girl because she sucked at that one carnival game and that dude Adrian gave her the prize after he won. There are tons of children at this game who have parents, and this scene would play the same way. Man, after Pet Sematary, this movie, and Dr. Sleep, I'm inclined to think Stephen King hates kids more than Maurice Sendak. I already think it's stupid and insane that Henry is getting bailed out by a zombie, and this whole subplot makes no sense to me. But why the is a zombie looking at the camera? That fourth wall breaking mother. I know this is a small town inn and all, but is it ever okay to just walk up to the bar and start making your own drink without any compensation to the establishment? Well, we're here. What the is up with the Derry townhouse? Like, apparently some of the losers came here first before going to the restaurant, but never ran into each other until they got to the restaurant. And nobody else other than them are around this place throughout their entire stay. But it has a counter with a bell and no employees. Don't tell me Pennywise has complete control over what we're seeing here. He doesn't do to them at the inn besides the skateboard announcement and dropping off Henry.
Tell me.
Dude, this is probably even worse than the pronoun game. How the is she supposed to know what you mean by that, you dick?
What you guys are talking about, let's make it happen faster, all right? We gotta go.
Can't you just go on your own? You didn't show up here together. You have separate cars. If you want to leave, just do it.
I need you to see what they showed me, Bill.
Man, there's nothing worse than the explanation of the evil character scene. I always like to think it was a manifestation of human evil that lurks in an unsuspecting place like a small town, and that Derry is a representative of all small towns. The way that adults either can't see the clown or are so desensitized that they ignore it is a perfect representation of the awful cycle of abuse, despair, and sickness, where it's better for us to look away than to face the challenge head on. Now we're going to be told the cause is aliens. Also, Mike Cosby's Bill here with no repercussions. What if the whole gang had come over? He'd do that to all of them? Also, why is this necessary? Mike's just going to explain to him what happened when he went out to the village, and how it came to Derry. Does that seriously require a ayahuasca trip?
I've watched every single one of us this week.
You've seen every single one of us what?
First off, interrupting Bill is an interrupting dick. Second, how the ever-loving did Bill get here so fast? The rest of the crew went straight to the inn from the restaurant, quickly packed, and just started having this conversation. But Bill went all the way to the library, powwowed with Mike, tripped balls, saw the ritual, and got over here in time to be an interrupting dick.
How the hell are we supposed to do that?
The ritual of chüd.
The only other person in this room that knows what Mike is talking about is Bill. But without any explanation to the rest of the group, he expects them all to just shrug and accept this string of words as something a sane person would say.
So if we don't beat it this cycle, then
We die.
This is how I explain my masturbation habits to my mother.
Remember what?
It's better if I show you.
Damn, dude, you waited a long time to not answer that question.
You know what? I actually think the door was more like...
Ben is a world-renowned architect, but didn't expect the roof of a 27-year-old structure built by children to be dangerous to stand on.
The past is buried, but you're gonna have to dig it up, piece by piece. And these pieces?
Are gonna take up most of the movie's runtime, despite being giant MacGuffins that mean jack f***ing.
We fought. But what happened after that?
We can't remember, can we?
Why the not? You've been in Derry for a while now, and from what I understand, being back in Derry causes your memories to flood back. So why are these very specific set of memories hard to remember? Why do the artifacts have to come from right after you guys fought in the last movie?
Alvin Marsh? My father. I grew up here.
Yo, Bev has obviously and rightfully gone to great lengths to keep her father out of her life, so why is she just strolling up to the apartment without so much as a call to see if he's home and or alive?
My father joined the circus.
Your father was Orson Welles? Movie steals the sundowning scenes from The Visit. Whoa, you're telling me this place has been wide open for who knows how long, and no one has nabbed these sweet stand-up video game consoles? I don't care if they work or not, them are valuable. This machine still works, is still here, and gives Richie a token that I can't believe would count as a real artifact for a sacrifice ritual. Even though we find out the ritual is pretty much bunk by the end of this movie, why would Mike accept this as a true artifact? Let's be honest, this torn up You've Got Mail poster is here so that Adrian's burn from the beginning of the movie can finally be understood by half the audience that didn't get it. I don't care how good your effects are, I'm so sick of this movie relying on CGI-based jump scares rather than actual terror that I'm going to add 25 cents here, and I reserve the right to throw more at it.
It's not real. It's not real. It's not real.
How can they tell what is and isn't real? Does Pennywise have to take the shape of the clown to be real? Is it only in certain places he's real?
I think I just my pants.
Stranger things have happened.
Or maybe truth or dare.
Depends on which one you mean. Either that Blumhouse one with Lucy Hale or the Madonna one. Actually, there's no good choice. Just kill me now.
It's real. It isn't happening. It isn't real.
See? This is real. Why was Paul Bunyan not real? And why isn't Pennywise killing him now? What are the rules?
Yeah, I want to see about the baseball card, the bowling ball.
Is this scene? The movie is making fun of one of its characters' stutter, and it's done by the creator of the story, which I think makes it even worse.
300.
Stephen King character totally misses the chance to be the Needful Things guy and doesn't make Bill burn down someone's house for the bite.
You, want me to sign it for you?
Nah, I didn't like the ending.
There's meta, there's super duper meta, there's mega meta, then there's mega negasonic meta, and then there's this scene.
I don't know how fast you'll go. Been there a lot of years.
That's why it was in my display window, because it was such a hot item, it had to attract people to the store. I could have thrown it in the trash, but somehow I knew it would be important in a plot one day. Jesus Christ, again? I feel like I've seen Georgie take this fateful journey as many times as I've seen Bruce Wayne's parents get murdered. Holy f***, the kid they ran into at the Chinese restaurant is living in his old house? For f***'s sake. Bill survives this. And why? And how?
What kind of voices?
Kids and other times, like
a clown?
So that's the eternal question, right? What does a clown sound like? They universally all sound the same to most people, and I'm afraid to say that's clownist.
It's supposed to be the festival.
Jesus, Richie, now Bill, they both f***ing yelled at this kid like dicks, and this kid reacts to both of them like, adults, what are you gonna do? This kid is patient, street smart, and maybe a saint. Damn, the effects crew outdid themselves with that lifelike Mitch McConnell on the desk. Why can't all effects be this good? It's a little thing, but it's a nice touch. Biology class, the place where Ben first knew he'd become an architect.
I guess I'm just worried that we're not all gonna be the same after the fight.
Yeah, there's an existential concern about the impermanence of young relationships for a perspicacious observer, but there's also probably a more pressing worry about the very real killer f***ing clown that's still stalking the town.
You actually thought I could like someone as fat and gross and disgusting like you?
I feel like it pretending to be Beverly and insulting Ben was way scarier than the flamehead, but go ahead. It do it. Look, we all know Danny's going to be Pennywise here in a minute, but I kept expecting this to be Danny Wood and not Pennywise here. And that would have been so much scarier.
Leaving.
Hey kids, get the It Chapter 2 soundtrack, which is full of Richieisms. He'll play the hits you've heard over and over again like...
Leaving.
I'm leaving.
We gotta go.
Hey, let's go!
And who can forget the classic?
So my girlfriend caught me masturbating to her friend's Facebook page.
He said you have a tumor on your
Man, show me one supporting character in this movie that shouldn't die a fiery death while being eaten by demon coyotes, and I'll give you a shiny nickel.
He's coming! You gotta get me out of here!
So did this happen or not? Was Eddie's mom really strapped down in the basement while a zombie gimp came in for the attack? Or is this some fantasy Pennywise conjured up? I'm assuming it's fantasy, but what a crazy specific scenario this is. No! And then Juice Newton's Angel of the Morning plays. In another movie, it might be hilarious. In this movie, well, it's also hilarious, but for the wrong reasons, and baffling.
Oh my god.
What happened here?
You know, it seemed like every spot they had to go was nearby the square. So why did Eddie take so much longer to get back? Bev's probably had time to knock back a bottle of schnapps, take a bath, take a nap, and eat a sandwich by this point.
We'll go together. I'm gonna get Richie and Ben and we'll
There's
go.
no time.
There's no time. Bill knows good and goddamn well that you can't fight this thing on your own, and everyone else except for Mike is within literal shouting distance.
It's your time, Eddie.
That's why I'm going to stab you in the cheek and not anywhere else that might kill you. Haha, I'm worthless.
Guys!
Sure, Ben and Bev can hear this clearly, but totally missed Henry kill screaming at Eddie 30 seconds ago.
One down!
One down. One down. You stabbed Eddie in the cheek. What the f makes you think he's dead? In the middle of this busy-ass carnival, he finds the kid, because of course he does. He could have just as easily already been inside the funhouse, but when the main characters run into him twice, and he just happens to live at Bill's old house, the never-ending convenience can't be stopped. This scene rules ass, but rather than take a sin off for it, I'm adding 5 more for all the wasted potential, since there's nothing else here ruling anyone's ass.
I know I'm a loser, and no matter what, I always f***ing will be.
That was kind of awesome. Did you enjoy it? I hope so, because this is the last goddamn scene that isn't plunged into near total blackness for about the next hour of the movie. Man, Mike has nothing to work with in this movie. He's seriously only there as an expositional device for the audience. He's the Winston Zeddemore of the It movies. Yeah, you could have gone around and stabbed him in the back, face. Jesus, why did Pennywise find the dumbest asshole to try and kill people for him?
Like fried f***ing...
And that's it. Henry Bowers, ladies and gentlemen. He stabs Eddie in the cheek and he makes a stupid attempt at Mike, and now he's done. He's so worthless that his character practically owes you money for watching him.
The same place the ritual needs to be performed.
I know we didn't have a chance to do an inventory with all that's going on. Did everyone get their artifacts? F it. We better go now and beat the traffic. Okay, so this is Stan as a kid all tangled around himself in the fridge here. And I guess if the losers were going to get an imaginary visit from Stan, it would be in the form of someone they remember and not the adult they never met. But why is he presented this way? This is not how he died, and it certainly wasn't a weird trick he used to perform for his buddies. Pennywise only appears in the mirror, but Bev is certain that smashing the mirror is the way to stop this, and somehow she's right. Spider Stan. Also, this is a really cool design that will be f***ed up by either economics and or a darkly lit, quickly edited action scene. This could be a moment of real terror, but the movie always seems to want to look away from the creature it's created, like Dr. Frankenstein when he made Dracula.
I was just scared. That's what he wants, right? Don't give it to him.
Yeah, next time I'm gonna need you to go ahead and die for your friends. That'll really chap his ass.
So all this has been under Derry, like, forever?
Not forever. Just a few million years.
Yeah, it's just a blip in time compared to how long the Earth has been around, but if we're really nitpicking here about forever, and I think we are, I can honestly say that the wreckage has been under Derry forever, because what they call Derry was probably established in the 17th century or so. Hence, Eddie was right.
It can only be attacked in its true form. The ritual will show us that.
Man, I really hope this Festivus of Chode ritual works out and wasn't the reason we wasted our time for like 73% of this movie. You should know, dude. You married the woman that has this.
Turn light in the dark. Say it!
Hey, man, like, you totally could have given these guys some training before doing this.
I didn't want them to know what actually happened to the poor Shakabiwa.
They died quickly, which is what should have happened to the losers. But Pennywise prefers to make someone unpopular before he starts killing people. This is where the movie officially becomes tedious. I guess they reach some sort of room of requirement that sends them to places they thought they were safe as kids. Only this time it's in its lair and it'll be horrifying? I just don't think I care enough. Also, why is it still f***ing with their heads? He's literally trying to kill them with his spider claws in his true form, but that's not scary enough? Of all the things you've seen, you're going to be scared by a pair of severed legs? This is pretty innocuous, all things considered. What do? Nibble your bum?
Next time we just go with regular scary.
What's stopping you now? See what's behind the door, for God's sake. Nothing's stopping you. Hell, I'm still pissed you didn't go through the severed legs door. Once again, the real brother is scarier than the monster. Monsters in a movie like this become tiresome. This would have been scary if it happened like Jane Austen's Emma or something, but not in this movie. Wait, was this supposed to be Eddie's nightmare or Bev's? I guess it doesn't matter when the demons are demons, but if you're going through the trouble of recreating their safe havens, maybe put people from their past that matter to the victim?
Here's Johnny!
Wait, is this the Stephen King parody movie? Did Friedberg and Seltzer do this picture? With this and the Angel of the Morning thing, I feel like they might have been on set. I assume this sequence is an homage to Sam Raimi style horror, but it's such a f***ing Sam Raimi homage that I'd rather just watch a Sam Raimi movie.
Betty, just open up the door for me, okay?
Sure, wait until the stall is halfway filled with blood before you come up with a meaningful psychological person. You've been dealing mostly Eddie cards up until now.
Bev, don't listen!
Are we supposed to think Ben can hear the people outside the door in Bev's world right now? There are no audio-visual cues that even suggest this is the case.
Emily, I love you! Ben!
Oh yeah, I forgot that love transcends time, space, and gravity when it comes to movies involving Jessica Chastain. Oh, look, scary. Another monster. Oh, what will he do?
Let's dance! Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker!
F*** Bill Hader's too good to escape this video without a sin removal. God, it takes so f***ing long for it to die, man. Like, I thought the end of Age of Ultron stretched out the villain's death, but Pennywise said, bitch, f*** your neural network and vibranium body. I'm a motherfucking spider clown that ultimately can only die by mean comments shouted loudly.
I think I killed it! I did! I think I killed it for real!
Man, this is a more premature celebration than the ones those assholes did in Independence Day.
Come out and play, Lucy!
I still want to know why he can't go into this space. This motherfucker was inside a high school locker with Ben earlier in the movie. You'd think after Pennywise has lived here for millions of years, he'd have noticed that the only place they could have gone was where they are now. But apparently, he's so focused on destroying the entrance to this cave, he didn't even notice they'd left.
There's more than one way to make someone small.
I can't believe that he is.
So Pennywise is only as big as your imagination? Okay, I can run with that concept. I just think it's weird that all losers end up believing this so completely that they're able to turn the tables with relative ease. If you gave these guys on-the-spot lie detector tests, I bet most of them would fail if you asked them, do you believe it is small? And they all said yes. In the end, this is a long way of saying this works.
You're just a f***ing clown!
As the losers hurl Twitter insults at Pennywise, I am reminded of the Boggarts from Harry Potter. I even remember one of the kids turning their fear into a clown and getting an A in Boggart slaying that day. I don't remember if this winning strategy was in Stephen King's original novel or not, but someone stole something, and it's a sin for this movie, and I'm half expecting someone to yell, ridiculous, so I will. Ridiculous! It's kind of amazing now that I can see this neighborhood, how this house stood on this lot for so long and didn't get condemned. You might say, well, it prevented it, or something, but how do you sell the houses close to this one? People don't really want to live next to an obvious murder house. Everyone jumps in the lake pretty much fully clothed, and while I'm not aiming to see nudity, I am surprised these guys are so modest at a moment like this.
Anybody have any
Well, they're probably already f***ing down there. No need to check to see if everyone's okay. Reading.
Why do you think we're not forgetting?
Maybe because it's dead. Or maybe because we have more we want to remember than we want to forget.
I like that one.
You like that one better than It's Dead? Look at these f***ing books. There's no way Bill read any of these generic-ass Encyclopedia Britannica-looking motherfuckers. He saw Will Hunting making fun of Sean's collection of fake-looking and said, you can order a set like that? Stan's note to the other losers spells lose like loose. And I'm wondering, if you can spell losers, why can't you spell lose correctly?
You have some top secret clown business that supersedes any plans that you might have for this here vehicle.
Are you a person who loves this show but doesn't own any clothes? Are you sitting there completely nude wondering if there's any way you can display your love for CinemaSins properties while also presenting yourself in an acceptable way in a public place?
Good news, everyone!
We here at the Sins team have launched a new merch store with the help of Teespring. With these products, you can cover your body in a multitude of ways. Want something a little breezy? Try this. This is a CinemaSins shirt. Want something a bit more modest? This pullover hoodie has got you covered. We've even got a few badass posters and one killer mug that will distract everyone from the fact that you're not wearing pants. So, check out the links below and buy yourself a damn shirt for once.
Will you, for the love of God, put on a f***ing shirt?
Mug does not actually commit murder.
Sometimes what we wish was forgotten, what we tried to leave in the past, won't stay there.
Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.
They hated the ending.
You said you liked the ending.
That was a lie.
What about the way the old ending tested in Canoga Park? Everybody hated it. We reshot it, now everybody loves it. That's reality.
We all get it. My mom was a great big fat person.
Oh, wait. Was she a great big fat person?
Thanks. She is the mother of my unborn child.
Sorry.
You're my stepbrother. We're not even blood. I have no qualms with sticking you. I will equalize you.